Hey guys, it's Kirsty. Welcome to another week of Segway Magic. This week we are talking about the video games and computer games that we played as children. The first and most important thing to note in regards to this topic is that I am very, very old, and therefore my answers will probably be slightly different to everybody else's answers, solely because we didn't get a computer until I was 10. We didn't really play a whole lot of video games. My brother had a Nintendo 64, but I think he only had like a golf game, a car racing game, and Zelda Ocarina of Time, which we were both terrible at. So we never really played with the Nintendo 64 that much. I think probably my first introduction to any kind of like video computer-based gaming was when I got a Game Boy, I think for my 10th birthday. And I was really, really bad at it. That was when we were living in the UK, and we came home to Australia for Christmas that year, and on the way we had like 3 or 4 days in Hong Kong, and while we were in Hong Kong we bought a Game Boy chip that had like 15 different games on it, including Mario and like Othello and Tetris and a bunch of other things. And basically the only two that I played were Mario and Tetris. And I never made it past level 3 of Mario. I also played a lot of Tetris on the computer, but I think mostly what we played on our very, very first computer was Sid Meier's Civilization. The original Civilization. The one where you still had to access it through DOS, the one where you could get unlimited money, but only if you typed a certain command into DOS before you opened up the program. That one. The graphics were completely and utterly horrific, but oh my god, it was so much fun. Obviously, when Civilization 2 came out, my little brother immediately went and bought it, and we basically spent like the next 8 to 10 years playing Civilization 2 because it was such an amazingly fabulous game. I think they're up to about Civ 5 now, but I haven't played any of them past Civ 3 because it got too strategic for me. I'm really bad at the strategy stuff. I loved the city building, I loved the exploring, I hated the strategy, and I was bad at it. So Civ 2 was really great for me because it had that toggle on cheat menu, because then you could just give yourself unlimited money and change the terrain to meet your needs and like create units right next to an enemy city and destroy them in like 2 moves. Not that I ever did that. On account of being old, the computers that we had in my high school were pretty damn shitty, and in year 9, so 1997, we had to take a class that was called Information Processing, where basically they taught us to create Word documents and Excel spreadsheets, and it was essentially a giant waste of time. But they never quite gave us enough work to do to fill the entire like 90-minute double period. And so we would basically spend the last 45 minutes of it playing Oregon Trail. One of the computer games that I really loved for a long time there was Pharaoh, which I think I loved it because, I mean, A, it's like vaguely archaeological in nature. You go around building Egyptian cities and it's really cool. But I think I liked it because it was like Civilization, but without the strategy side of things. So I really loved that, and I think I played the entire game from start to finish about 10 times, which takes approximately forever. The game that immediately springs to mind when I saw this topic on the list is this bizarre computer game that I've never heard of anybody else playing, but it's this bizarre game called Time Lapse, and it was friggin' amazing graphics considering the time it was made. It was across 4 CDs, so that tells you like how huge it was for the time. And the basic gist of this game is that you get a message on your answering machine telling you that your friend has found something mysterious at Easter Island, and then you get a call from the police saying that your friend has gone missing. So you decide to go to Easter Island and look for clues. And on Easter Island, you find a friggin' time machine. And so then you end up going to these different civilizations and looking for clues to try and find your friend. And there's this weird, mysterious robot that's chasing you or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so you go through ancient Egypt and then I think the Maya and the Anasazi, and eventually it leads you to Atlantis. So that was pretty amazing, and we played a hell of a lot of that game. Oh my god, it was so much fun, except for this one challenge in the Anasazi section where you had to shoot an arrow through a hole in the rock, and it was friggin' impossible because you had to account for the wind, and so you had to have the speakers on to hear when the wind was dropping, but if you missed, there was like this ghostly voice that said, "Shoot straight, straight, as the wind blows, wind blows, wind blows," and it was so fucking annoying. Basically, the day that we discovered a walkthrough for that game that involved a cheat to get past that was the greatest day of our lives. Don't forget you can make your own video on this topic, post it on Saturday using the hashtag SegwayMagic on Twitter or Tumblr. We will find them and put them into a roundup post. Mari, I can't wait to see your thoughts on the subject. I love all your faces and I will see you soon. Bye.